I'm recording a message that I received. I've been trying for hours to respond to it. Okay, this is the message I received. Conservatorships is a legal status in which a court appoints a person to manage the financial and personal affairs of a minor or incapacitated person. A conservator may serve as a guardian who is responsible for establishing and monitoring the physical care of the individual and managing their living arrangements. A conservatorship requires a handler, quote unquote, to oversee all of the person's financial and social affairs of the person placed into the conservatorship. Like Brittany Spears' dad did, it was her handler. In order to get a hearing for a conservatorship, the person must have a mental health diagnosis which has reached a level that makes them incapable of caring for themselves, which means the stalkers need to get you labeled first. That's not hard since the mental health diagnostic manual has increased in the United States exponentially in the last 10 years. At this point, almost everyone in the U.S. has been diagnosed at some point or another and placed on medication. As a side note, a mental health diagnosis can prevent you from giving testimony in certain types of trials and capacities. If the targeted individual files tons of police reports, it's not hard to prove after a while that something's not right. Well, I disagree with that. They need the mental health diagnosis and compelling evidence, police reports, to prove their concern for the target. If you're under conservatorship, you can call the police. You do think that they're going to file a report? They will until they get you into the conservatorship, and then afterwards they won't. You are not a normal citizen at that point. Your legal rights for self-care have been removed, and the handler of the conservatorship decides what money is allocated to the person in the conservatorship, where they live, and what social activities they're allowed to perform. Of course, this could be modified so the person in the conservatorship is unaware of the control in the background. The handler is entitled or entrusted with all the assets, including income, life insurance policies, claims, or any insurance settlements. Any funds paid to the person in a conservatorship goes to the main conservatorship account and is distributed based upon the handler's decision. 2 of the reversals in my film talk about them allocating money to me that they permitted to have me. They also said that they permitted me the money to buy my car and that they planned to wreck it because it was a stick shift. He said it was not yours to begin with. It was loaned to you. Does a conservatorship allow the handler total legal control over a person's cell phone account, email accounts? Could you move their cell phone account under their own plan if they wanted to? Like they did me? This is the person writing this. Could they enroll your phone in a device management to view all your content, wipe, erase, or delete certain files? The answer is yes. Could the handler wipe funds from the person's bank account if they wanted to? The answer is yes. Could the handler legally cancel insurance coverages or file insurance claims on behalf of the person unbeknownst to them in the conservatorship? Yet the answer is yes. When I sold my condo in 2019 and moved into a rental, they tried to get renter's insurance, but was denied because they said I filed a recent claim on my homeowner's insurance, which I did not. Could the handler legally place cameras inside a home to monitor your well-being? After all, it's for the person's in the conservatorship's safety and to give them the space so they don't feel totally controlled. Could the handler hire somebody if they had the money, or maybe you're going to use yours to follow the person in the conservatorship using the excuse that it's for their well-being, quote unquote? Or could they legally use your cell phone or trackers to track your movements? Yes. Could the handler legally have your locks picked on your home or car and legally request duplicate keys made if you rent by your landlord? The answer is yes. The end goal is not only to take the person's known assets, but the assets unknown to the person in the conservatorship. Known assets include personal possessions, property, retirement accounts, investment accounts, life insurance policy payouts. Unknown assets include secret life insurance plans and any Federal Reserve account money due the American when the USA Inc. was dissolved during Trump's time in office. Just so you are aware, there is no website to search to see if somebody has filed an insurance claim under your name except LexisNexis, which the reports often are inaccurate. They did institute a website You can visit where you can email requests to see policies existed in your name. The agency will reach out to each carrier. However, it requires that each carrier responds. It's not a website that lists everything out without having you go through the hoops. But if you're under conservatorship, would you be entitled to see this information since your legal rights and your finances have been removed? The answer is no. If you are a handler with all this power and wanted to hire other people, stalkers, to torture, incentivizing them at your demise with your personal possessions and maybe paying for their social activities, drugs, alcohol, while they stalk you, it wouldn't be hard to do. While doing rideshare, a number of passengers have put their cell phones up in front of my face and then click something on their screen. Maybe they have made it possible for them to point their cell phone at your face. Facial recognition would give them access to a secret account under your name, which allows them to pay for their social activities or merchandise using your account seamlessly. And it looks like you are the purchaser with an account you've never had access to. I've had reversals to support this theory. This scenario might also be accomplished as they chipped you. If the cell phone is close to the chip, similar to the Visas, you tap on the credit card reader, then it verifies identity and charges the account. Chips, by the way, I believe, are more likely in fake teeth or fillings, Bluetooth named explained. Or maybe they sell the person off like a slave through crypto channels. The price would be a portion of your estimated value at the end. Credit holders will do this all the time. Selling off blocks of current credit, especially in the home mortgage sector. A congressman, I believe, posted earlier this year on his social media, "No, this is America. People are not for sale. You cannot sell a human," something like that. Perhaps this is what he meant. If our own government is under a form of conservatorship via the Epstein scandal, then it's entirely possible that most citizens are under a secret conservatorship. We are the peons compared to the elected officials. I do feel the majority of the targets are whistleblowers or enemies of the elite. If America is indeed turned back over to the citizens with the dissolve of the USA Inc., that means that we are entitled to all of the money they have pocketed from us via the Federal Reserve, unless we are all under conservatorship, which might explain why mental health diagnosis has skyrocketed in recent years. Some of us are entitled to more money because we're older, which means that they have made more money on us over the years with the jabby patients put into nursing homes. Wonder who got their payments. This would make older Americans a higher value targets. Remember the Freemasons? Well, they have an entirely separate court system. Did you know this? You will not find the court records for your local courthouse on their trials. They have their own penalties for misconduct, which includes removal of businesses and assets. If the master, quote-unquote, class Mason is proven to have done deeds outside of their standards of conduct, meaning it does not benefit humanity, then the penalty might include disappearing. This you can verify, and in several of the books published on the Masons. If these acts were done behind the scenes and then recorded, it might be in their private court system, or since the U.S. was a for-profit confirmation listed in Duns and Bradstreet, as is every department of our government, then it is possible they don't have to record all of their decisions. It's only in the minds of the Americans that we have a fair and just system, when in fact it's a private corporation. It's entirely possible that everyone in America was placed into this program, but it's only activated when they get classified into the program due to an action. This is just my theory based upon my documentary and research. I do not know this to be fact. However, it will be interesting to see if I'm correct. It does explain a lot of how they are able to get away with so much. Of course, we didn't even touch on the use of AI for some of these activities, which is being done by the Attorney General's office in Ohio. It was in the news article recently, or maybe it's just simply that the definition of conservatorship fits the same steps or actions required by the Patriot Act for some named as a terrorist or put on the list. Free Brittany might actually turn into Free America, and then might turn into Free the World. And this is the email that I have been trying to respond to for hours. And for some reason, my phone is not allowing me to respond to it. Each time I click the send, it disappears back into the draft section, when I have been able to send all kinds of other emails, including a test email to the same individual. So this is evidence that my phone is hacked and not permitting me to respond to certain emails. It's also a very important email, and I'm going to ask permission to read this out loud because I know several people who have been affected by this, and I also know about the atrocities that are being targeted against me here in rural Kentucky with people trying to steal my property. No, I am the sane individual here. Everybody else around me is nuts. In fact, most of the people that live around here are, I would consider to be criminally insane, neurotic, psychotic, narcissistic, and amoral, unethical, and corrupt. In addition to greedy and lie. Lie, lie, lie. Just like my neighbor. She had the audacity to tell a legal official, that's right, a legal official, that she was getting a divorce. Well, guess what? 2 years later, they're still living together. They did not have a legal, she said it was a legal separation. Well, in the state of Kentucky, if you have a legal separation and you continue to live together, well, that's considered to be a crime. That's right, folks. So she lied. She lied to the process server, which is a legal representative serving papers, legal documents. She lied. That's right. She told them that they were legally separated. Those were her words, legally separated. Guess not. One lie leads to another and another and another. This is Lorraine Alternative Home.